All right, the weekly marginal cost function for Ash's Pokeball restaurant is given by C prime of x is 118 minus 1.6x. And then we're given that the fixed costs are $2,100 each week. What that means is if we sell nothing, we still have to pay $2,100 to run the business. So that's what fixed costs mean. So I'm going to integrate both sides. So that gives me C of x is the integral of 118 is 118x minus 1.6x squared over 2 plus big C. Okay? I'm trying to get that so the glare isn't so in your face. Anyway, so we have C of x equals 118x minus 0.8x squared plus C. So now I've got an x and a y. So I can sub these in. 2100 equals 118 times 0 minus 0.8 times 0 squared plus C. So now I've got 2100 is C. So this is my answer, but instead of plus C, we're going to put plus 2100. Okay? So we have another one. We have C prime of x is given as 8 over the square root of x. Dollars per box when X boxes of greeting cards are sold. If the cost of making and shipping 64 boxes of cards is $248. So 64 is going to give us 248. So I'm going to rewrite this first before I integrate. So I've got C prime of x equals 8x to the negative 1/2. And now it's ready for me to integrate both sides. So I have C of x, because once we integrate the derivative, the original function shows up. So I get 8x to the positive 1/2 over 1/2 plus C. Okay, so 8 divided by 1/2 gives us 16 square root of x plus C. So I've got C of x equals this. So this is my answer. I just need to figure out what the fixed cost, or what the plus C is. So x is going to be square root of 64. So I have 16 square root of 64 plus C is going to equal 248. So that gives me 248 equals 16 times 8 plus C. So 16 times 8 gives me 128. Okay, I'm going to subtract 128 from both sides. And that's going to give us a C value of 120 equals C. So instead of a plus C, we have a plus 120. Okay? The next one is S of t, little s of t, equals 3 over 4 times the 4th root of t, plus 0.4 times the square root of t, plus 9. And it says after 8 months, the company earned $96.0196 million in sales. So in 8 months, $96.0196 in sales. Find a function representing the company's total sales after t months. And so we're going to rewrite S of t as S prime of t, because that's given to us in the instructions. This is 3/4 t to the negative 1/4 plus 0.4 t to the negative 1/2 plus 9. So now I can integrate both sides. So that gives me capital S of t equals t to the 3/4 over 3/4, which means those 3/4 are going to reduce. Any number divided by itself is 1. Okay, plus 0.4 t to the 1/2 over 1/2 plus 9t plus c. So at this point what we have is S of t equals t to the 3/4 plus, this would be times 2, so I get 0.8 square root of t, we'll just put t to the 1/2, plus 9t plus c. So again, this is our answer. We're going to go in and figure out what plus c is. So I have 96.0196 equals 8 to the 3/4 power plus 0.8 times 8 to the 1/2 power plus 9 times 8 plus c. So I get 8 to the 3/4 power plus 0.8 times 8 to the 1/2 power. Hang on, I messed up. And then plus 72. So I get 79.01957. So 96.0196 equals, what did I just say? 79.0195. $70.16. Okay, so I'm going to subtract the 79.0195 7016 from both sides. 79. $0.195 $70.16, and when I do that, I get 17. 17 and 0.00000 and a few numbers, so it's effectively 17. So instead of plus C, we have plus 17. All right, C prime of x equals 15 times the square root of 10x plus 36. So immediately my brain goes to the fact that the derivative of the inside is not 1. So we're going to have to use U substitution. Okay. The company has fixed costs of $13.16. So find the cost of producing 200 toaster ovens. All right. Sorry, I got interrupted. I'm going to integrate both sides. So that's going to give me C of x, which is the cost function, equals 15 times the integral of 10x plus 36 to the 1/2 power dx. Okay? So this 200 is going to be the very, very last thing that we do. We're going to resolve our plus C, but first I need to integrate. So the integral, what is my u? My u is what's on the inside. So I've got 10x plus 36 take a derivative of both sides, and I get 10 dx. So what I have is a 15 and a dx. I need a 10 dx. So I've got the dx, the 15 I just pulled out of the way, but I need a 10, so I'm going to balance by dividing by 10. Okay? So really I've only multiplied by 1. I haven't changed what this is, I've just changed what it looks like. So c of x now equals 1.5 times the integral of u to the 1/2 du. So my u is 10x plus 36 to the 1/2. My du is 10 dx. So there's my 10 and there's my dx. Okay, I know how to integrate this. So this becomes c of x equals 1.5 u to the 3/2 over 3/2 plus c. But I started with x's, so I better end with x's. So I have c of x equals 1.5 divided by 3/2 is 1. You can tell my brain's not here. All right, so what is my u? My u is 10x plus 36. Okay. So this is my answer. I just need to resolve the plus c. So what I have is 13/16 and then a 0 for x. Okay, so 36 to the 3/2 power gives me 216. I'm going to subtract 216 from both sides, and that gives me 1100 equals c. So instead of plus c, we're going to have plus 1100. And then finally, we have P of D. Oh, wait a minute. Back up the truck. We forgot about the 200 ovens. So take this and plop in 200 ovens, and we'll find out what the cost is. So we have C of X, or C of 200, equals 10 times 200 plus 36 to the 3/2 power plus 1100. So that's going to give me 10 times 200 is 2000 plus 36. Raise that to the 3/2 power. And then add 1100 to that. And we get 92.96.8. .51. And that's how much it costs to do 200 toaster ovens. All right, the last problem is P of D equals 1.98 e to the negative 0.11d times 1 minus e to the 0.11d negative squared. And we want to know if an employee with no experience can produce 14 items each day. So no experience gives me 14 items. Okay, so that's our initial condition. I am going to integrate both sides. So this is dd. So that gives me capital P of D equals that 1.8 or 1.98 is in my way. So I'm going to pull it out front. And now I get e to the negative 0.11d. 1 minus e to the negative 0.11d squared dd. So that means I've taken the derivative. Okay. So what am I going to do? I am going to use u substitution. So what's on the inside is 1 minus e to the negative 0.11d. And then my derivative is going to be negative from here, e to the negative 0.11d times negative 0.11 dd. So I took the derivative of the exponent. So rewriting that just to make it a little bit cleaner, I've got 0.11 e to the negative 0.11 d dd. Okay, so what do I have? I have this part. I've got the e to the negative 0.11d. I've got the dd. What do I need? I need the 0.11. So I'm going to multiply by 0.11 and I'm going to divide by 0.11. So really I'm just multiplying by 1. Okay. So I'm going to drop this thing down here. So I've got 1.98 divided by 0.11. Gives me 18. Times the integral. Now I've got my du. So this is u squared du. So don't think that it's e to the u. Your u is 1 minus e to the negative 0.11d. Okay? So that's this whole thing right here, which is being squared. So this is u squared. Okay? What's the integral of u squared? The integral of u squared is u to the third over 3. So I have p of d is 18 u to the third over 3 plus c. But I started in x world, so I need to end in x world. So 18 and 3 reduce to 6. So I have p of d equals u. And instead of u, I'm going to put 1 minus, I forgot my 6. Okay. So now what do we have? That's our final answer. But we're told to find out if zero experience produces 14 items. So we're going to put 14 equals 6 times 1 minus e to the negative 0.11 times 0 to the third plus c. So that's going to end up giving us 6 times 1 minus e to the negative 0.11 times 0. And then we're going to cube that. And we get 0. So 14 equals 0 plus c. So 14 must equal c. So instead of a plus c, we have a plus 14. Now, an employee with 2 days of experience can produce how many items per day? So we're going to take this function and we're going to plop in a 2 for 2 days worth of experience. So p of d becomes p of 2, which is 6 times 1 minus e to the negative 0.11 times 2 raised to the third plus 14. So I have 6 times 1 minus e to the negative 0.11 times 2. And then we're going to cube that. And then we're going to add 14. So we get 14.04621. 14.04620921. So that's how many items somebody with 2 days of experience can produce, which is not much more than 14. Anyway, that is it for Module 9.